Welcome to the top stocks to watch for the week of October 10th. First things first, starting us off on our macroeconomic data calendar. For this week, we have no news on Monday and Tuesday, but Monday is Columbus Day, so expect a little bit less volatility in the markets. Wednesday, we are starting off with our high-impact news events. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have PPI numbers coming out for month over month. 2 p.m., we have our FOMC meeting minutes, so we'll get a little bit of a clue as to what led to their prior decision. Thursday, starting off the day with some very high-impact news, we have our CPI data coming out at 8:30 a.m., month over month and year over year, as well as our core CPI data. Friday, we have core retail sales and retail sales as well at 8:30, and then at 10 a.m., we have some prelim UOM consumer sentiment numbers. Overall, lots of news this week. It might be a very boring week or perhaps very exciting. We'll have to wait and see. In terms of news during market hours, just be aware of Friday, 10 a.m. Besides that, there should not be that much high-impact data during market hours. But if you're trading pre-market or other markets, please be aware, especially of Thursday at 8:30 a.m. And as you can see on screen right now is your earnings in the S&P 500 for this upcoming week as well. Taking us over to our technical analysis for the week, we're obviously going to start off on SPY. SPY, as of this last week, has had quite the impulse move to the downside, and this was something that we were kind of anticipating after our push up to 378. This was what we were expecting to be wave 4. That was something we shared in last week's market recap, and as you can see, our arrows worked out rather perfectly, although it was not intended to do that. The wave 4 did come up to our prior 38.2 retracement of wave 3, which I will quickly highlight for you right now. And you'll see on my screen right here, this red zone above us around 388, 388 is going to be our invalidation point for this 5-wave impulse move to the downside. So if we do happen to recover before we break for new lows beneath 357 and we come back up above 388, then the 5-wave move to the downside will be invalidated and we will have to reanalyze, although I do not think that will happen this week. As you can see, if we take our Fibonacci retracements from wave 3 on SPY, on our 4-hour chart, you'll see that we came up to the 38.2 retracement. I drew my fibs inversely, that's why it says 61.8, but that is indeed the 38.2. We had a couple of wicks to that level and we bounced off with some very strong candles in market hours and also in aftermarket hours. So now I'm looking for a move down to the 335 range to 325 like we were sharing last week. Nothing has really changed in that regard. When we're looking at our subdivisions of wave 5, we can absolutely expect a bounce in the early part of this week just due to how impulsive this wave 1 to the downside was. Wave 1 of wave 5. So what I'm kind of anticipating is a wave 2 and then a wave 3 to take us lower, wave 4 and then wave 5 to take us down to that final price target that we had beneath us. Wave 1 could continue to move lower, absolutely. I'm not saying we have to bounce on Monday or Tuesday. We could definitely come down lower, but overall, definitely expecting a bounce in the coming days. Do not fight the trend. If you're utilizing VWAP indicators or trend following indicators like the 8 and 21 EMA, you'll notice we never really broke those towards the second half of this week. So do not fight them. Do not fight the trend. Right now, we are definitely trending to the downside. Look for a retracement, look for some entries on retracements, but overall, the position that we're looking for is to the downside. Taking us into Apple, it's obviously going to be a very similar chart. We're looking to break for new yearly lows rather soon once we get back down to the 129 range. We have a little bit of room left to go. I'm looking at pretty much the same thing on Tesla and Apple, which we're going to pull up Tesla in just a second. We had an ABC move to the upside. Now we are in a very similar page to SPY. Looking for wave 1 to complete, wave 2, looking for wave 3, and then wave 4 and wave 5. So definitely looking for a downside move after a short-term bounce to the upside in the beginning parts of this week. So after we broke back down beneath 262 on Tesla, I was telling you guys that we can expect yearly lows on Tesla, although I did not expect them to come this quickly. As you can see, after we retraced and invalidated our 5-wave move to the upside like we were talking about last week, we very, very quickly started capitulating to the downside. Tesla's earnings are coming up, and you would expect Tesla to pump into their earnings, but as of recently, that is not the case. I'm looking for a break very, very soon of 207 on Tesla and looking for new lows beneath that as well. So definitely paying close attention to Tesla. I think there's definitely some short trades to be made with news regarding Twitter and everything going on with Elon Musk right now. It does not look very bright for Tesla with them posting a negative 6.3% day on Friday. To kind of throw something interesting into the mix, I did want to highlight that defense stocks are performing better compared to other names right now. And something to highlight that is Boeing. We do have a potential inverse head and shoulders on Boeing. I would not be looking to go long right now in this market environment personally, but if you are looking for a perhaps contrarian approach to the current price action that we're seeing, I think that we may be able to see that if we get above 133, 134 on Boeing and validate this inverse head and shoulders. Remember, our head and shoulders are only valid if and when we break the neckline, and we have not yet done so. So in order for this to be valid, we would need to come up and break above that. When price breaks above, our trade would be valid, and then our stop loss could go beneath our current low at 127 with a take profit closer to 144. So definitely keep an eye on Boeing to the upside. LMT is posting a very similar price action chart. We look like we're in a very clear 5-wave move to the upside, and this highlights our defense stock theory that we were just highlighting on Boeing. So if we do break out of this wedge on Lockheed Martin, and then perhaps this could be a good long opportunity as well. Oil has had quite the bounce recently, and that has resulted in a very impulsive move on Oxy. Oxy has been pumping ever since the very end of September, pretty much the entire first part of October. We've been going straight up. So I'm looking for that price action to continue after we get an ABC wave on Oxy. So we have wave A that we just probably had on Friday, looking for another push to the upside for wave B, and then another move down lower for wave C. This would give us a better idea of a retracement being complete, and perhaps then another price action push to the upside on oil, which would then result in a push to the upside on our energy stocks, such as Oxy, Chevron, Exxon, stocks like that. Right now, with our current oil geopolitical issues going on, OPEC cutting their barrels by 2 million barrels per day. That's obviously going to have an impact on oil. If they're sending out less oil, oil is going to cost more, which is going to send these stocks higher. Everything going on with Russia right now and the Nord Stream pipeline, energy crisis in Europe, I think that oil will most likely find its push to the upside after we had that very profitable move to the downside we were able to catch on this series. So definitely looking for a continuation to the downside on Oxy, followed by some long positions to take us higher. So that was all for this week. I tried to throw in a couple of extra industries, sectors of the S&P that we could keep an eye out on, namely defense stocks and oil stocks. So keep an eye out on those. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. I wish you the best of luck for your trading in this upcoming week. And as always, I will see you in the next video.